It was Why the Weakest Link. Goodbye. I don't know. What was that from?
I don't know. I mean, I think the show was called The Weakest Link.
Sure. I believe that.
American television show, Weakest Link. Only 2 seasons. Tough.
Okay. So LinkedIn is being silly. I can't connect on Instagram for some reason now. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It won't let me do anything. What the heck?
What the heck, guys?
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't see us live on. Oh, we're live on YouTube. That's good.
Okay. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. LinkedIn is getting there. Hold on. Instagram, I can't because this is not. Hold on.
Everybody hang tight.
Everybody hang tight.
I really need to start having some, cocktail party anecdotes handy, because you
panicked. You bailed. You bailed so hard.
I did not know if the tech stuff was correct.
Okay, I can't get this Instagram cooking now because it's got to be set up before, and so whatever. I started this again without doing it. Actually, is this working? No, I think this is the old.
I'll tell everybody on Instagram that we're on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe just put up a little thing. Okay. They make it so seamless for us. Okay.
Take a picture of us.
Okay.
Smile.
Okay, you hold the fort down. Let me just get LinkedIn cooking, and then
the most important place in the whole world.
LinkedIn cooking. That is not the most mortifying thing
ever said that.
Say.
I mean, some people. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is speaking of LinkedIn. My little sister tagged us in a post that someone had put up on April 1st, saying, "Why do all of these brands save these fun ideas for only this one day and make them fake when it's actually like some of the best stuff?"
Mm-hmm,
and Emma was like, Semiserious does this all year round, and would agree. And then some of the comments were saying, well, there's a lot of red tape, and like corporate wouldn't necessarily like sign on to it working. And then somebody else said, well, they should test these things on April 1st. And then potentially roll them out. But it is funny that they're like, half the time they're like, oh, this fake product, lol. And then people are like, wait, I would actually want that. Or like, it's like the one time people are having fun. It's how we usually say people should start spending a big part of their marketing budget on Thanksgiving or Halloween, like non-holiday, like close enough that people will want to spend their like winter holiday money, but not that you'd be competing with all of that noise.
Well, I know we always say that people should really start playing in Thanksgiving. Lyndsay, are we live, our video live on YouTube? Because I see just like our like pattern background. I just want to make sure that like our faces.
I see us.
You see us. Okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then we're good then.
I'm going to say.
I'm trusting you with my life right now. Okay, so we're good then. Let's rock and roll.
We're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I'm telling Instagram people.
Yeah. Tell them, Lynds.
Come join.
Okay. I love how we started this over, and it's just as unappealing of a intro as it was before.
We're like, here we are, just talking about posts on LinkedIn. Anyway.
Okay. Well,
how's it going?
Let's get rocking and rolling. Kick things off.
Hey, welcome back to Can They Brand That? You're watching a live show, clearly, an improvised branding show, the world's first, the world's only, and it's the only show brave enough to do what no one is asking for, and that's brainstorm in real time for a live audience, given all of the technical difficulties that can happen. But essentially what we do is we take a product, whether it's fictional, whether it exists in a different form, whatever it may be, that is sort of a challenge. And we spend 20 minutes fully improvised, no prep, trying to create an entire brand identity for it. Some good examples that we've done in the past have been, can they brand nightgowns for men, like old-timey nightgowns? How would we modernize that? Can they brand sparkling milk? What if that existed? Glitter mulch. What have we done?
Does exist, but
it does not in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah. Korea?
Maybe Korea. Maybe it was South Korea.
Yeah. So we just basically we really do the equivalent of picking things out of a hat. And it's either like, wouldn't that be cool if that existed? I saw that. Like the week of the show, usually on like Monday or Tuesday, we're just being like, what would be funny? What doesn't have a good brand? What could be, what's an industry or segment that could be, like have some innovation or have some liveliness. And so, yeah, that's the name of the game.
Or we might be picking something that is maybe a little outdated, that has existed for a long time, but they've maybe fallen out of favor with their ideal audience, or they're kind of seen as an outdated product. Like, could we bring it back in an interesting way? Which is kind of the setup for today's product. But
yeah.
Got a lot of stories about today's product.
Oh, I can't wait. Before we do that, I guess we should introduce ourselves. Our names are on the bottom, but
yeah,
I'm Lyndsay Sanders.
I'm Allie LeFevere. We are the co-founders of Semiserious. We are a humor branding agency. So humor is kind of our core strategy, and how we develop and differentiate all the brands that we build, and like making them wildly entertaining, incredibly memorable, make your consumer feel something, build a relationship with your consumer by giving them something, which is like a laugh, a smile, a chuckle before you take a single dollar. And really just like infusing that into the landscape in a way that a lot of brands either don't do or can't do, that really sets you apart from the pack. So yeah, that's our whole shtick. And a big reason why we do this show is, one, is we just are huge champions of creativity. We believe that, especially in this age of AI slop, that human-made brands, people are still going to gravitate toward them and care about them, and that's what they're going to fall in love with. Like, you can feel the difference. All AI can do is kind of rip off what already exists. Like, when you're creating something from scratch and you're building something that doesn't exist, like, it's going to feel fresh and unique and exciting. And so we really want to kind of keep that alive and well. And so, and then I guess kind of one of the other goals is we love playing with each other. We do this all day, every day for work, but we're always kind of bound by the goals of a project, or, client parameters, or whatever, like industry standards, market saturation, the landscape. And so here we just get to kind of play and riff and have fun, and show that when you really let go of your inhibitions and allow like a truly improvised brainstorm session around branding, which is like saying yes to each other, not having to push back, not having to kind of clip each other's wings before we take off. So we think like that is like there's so many good ideas that come from that. So we want to just show what that looks like. And then honestly, we just want to kind of break up like the state of the world a little bit by infusing some joy into it. It is very heavy out there. We don't have to get into the details of it. And so it's like, this is just our little way to try to capture some play and fun and joy that's left, and share it with you, and like let you be a part of it. So yeah. So thank you for being here. This is so fun for us. Like, we truly get a kick out of this every week. We get off these calls or get off these shows, and we just like kind of chuckle and go, man, that was fun. We would just love to do this. I guess we do this for a living, but
yeah,
if this could be just our whole job, riffing and just our favorite ideas without being bound by the client, man, what a life. But so thanks for being here.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here. We do love it. It is more fun though. First of all, there's like the live like performance aspect where you sort of have to be on. It's a time crunch. And like you said before, there's no parameters. So you really get to be like, oh, what if we did this? And you don't have, client feedback saying like, we need it to be X, Y, and Z, or like, we only like blah, 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 or the data says blah, blah, blah. We're like, data, strategy, schmategy. We are going to do something crazy and weird. Speaking of us getting off and talking about it, we got off of a little recap of last week. Last week was scooter luggage for grownups. Basically a scooter attachment to a hard suitcase that you could scoot through the airport, but for grownups, because all the kids get the ride-on ones. And we went with the name Scoot Case because it was so like right there. You're like, this is perfect. And we made that the whole brand name. And after we got off the call, we were looking at some color palette, and we're like, that's really like, how fun would it be to do like sort of 70s or retro, or get like weird and trippy. And then we both looked at each other and we're like, trippy. imagine if that had been the brand name, because then you could do all sorts of different product, and Scoot Case is the category name as of a trip and trippy, and like the colors, it would have been just like, I don't feel like suitcases they're either like, we're really fun and it's just like a solid color, or a weird pattern, like
we're magenta. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, wow, it's silver.
Wacky.
Or they're trying to really be like sleek and buttoned up, or it's, a brand specific pattern and logo. And so anyway, I think it was a good reminder. We only have 20 minutes. We're doing it with no prep. And sometimes afterwards, and the dust settles, we are reminded of sort of these lessons and philosophies that we put into practice when we're working with real clients. And one of those is a good brand name should create and open up for you an entire world of branding possibilities and a lot of associations. And like you said earlier, an emotional reaction. And I think Scoot Case is so clean and funny and punny. However, you don't have a lot of like visual vibes off of it. There isn't like a whole world. Like we can usually tell when a world starts unfolding and creating itself when we have created a good business name. Anyway, that's just a little thinking back in hindsight.
No, and it's like, I think that's the fun of it, is that we only have 20 minutes to do this. And so sometimes, we get off these chats and we're like, oh man, I just thought of this line of copy, or this would have been a fun angle. And trippy as a name could have been just an awesome world to build. But Scoot Case still, I stand by the fact that like that is a killer category name. And if we could have trademarked that, I don't think it exists, because we looked it up and we did not see anyone calling these scooter suitcases Scoot Case, which seems like such a miss. That like still owning that is like, that's a kind of our core category, what we're known for, would have been awesome. But yeah, so we thought we'd just do a little reflection,
some education, if you're taking notes. Which, without further ado, I do think we should introduce today's product, or brand, I guess, so that we can get cracking, because this is the fun part.
Yeah.
You want to say it?
So today, well, first, before we get into it, I apologize. I'm like, I don't know if I'm having allergies or what, but I may be blotting a little bit throughout this live call. So, so attractive, but anyway, so I apologize for my little running.
Speaking of allergies, I every spring forget that like allergies affect me. Like I'll get like a sinus headache or running. And so my sister texted me 2 weeks ago and she said, just a friendly reminder that you're probably about to get allergies. So if you start to go, why am I having a headache? It's probably your allergies. And I'm like, that is real love. Like she's like, just getting ahead of it. And sure enough, I'll always be like, why is my head hurt? And then allergies, pollen.
Well, it's funny, Lyndsay, I got married 15 years ago. I think almost 15 years ago. And I had never had allergies growing up. And I remember before my wedding, I started having like runny eyes because I got married in May. And it was like making me crazy. Like, what is going on? And I'm like, oh, I probably did have like, it was like the onset of allergies, and they've been happening the last 15 years, but I act flabbergasted whenever the seasons change. I'm like, what is happening to me?
You don't have to have allergies to have pollen. If it's not like we have allergies. It's just like everybody, if you're breathing this in.
Oh, yoy. Okay. So on that note, such a cool anecdote.
Wow. Let's talk about snot some more.
Today's, I know. What a segue. So today's brand, I'm dying because I cannot wait to talk about this, is we are going to try to brand Waterbeds. Obviously all the rage it felt like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I remember my aunt had one. So when I would spend the night at my grandma's house, I used to sleep in her waterbed. But like, is there like a singular brand that people think of when they think of waterbeds? Do people even think of waterbeds when they want to buy a mattress? I mean, they're kind of notoriously like heavy, and I mean, you have to like change the water out every few years, but they are, I think, still kind of the gold standard for comfort and like even weight distribution and all this jazz. So we're like, oh my God, can we like bring back the waterbed?
Can we make a brand that would like waterbeds only, that would be like known in the way that like Casper, like some of those mattresses, it's like, can we make a waterbed brand that is cool and fun and hip and have people start thinking about waterbeds again? I did, in my tiny bit of research I did this morning, there are waterbeds that exist for sure.
Yeah.
By like the big brands.
For sure.
And then there are some that are like a little bit of both. There's like a hybrid situation, which I don't know how that works. I again, purposely didn't look too much into it. We're getting a cool stat in the comment section. Our bodies are 80% water. So imagine that's a funny ad campaign. I'm just picturing it being like, have you ever heard this before? And it's just like stats that everybody knows. And you're like, you're 80% water. Take that up a notch. I don't know. Like, yeah, put your water knows what, put your body where it wants to be. Like, go home.
It is true. It's so funny that stat just came up in the chat because I actually did think of like, is there any connective tissue there? So that was actually good, Liz.
Hey,
go backward to where your body wants to be.
Like it's sort of anatomy play, ancestors, DNA. Anyway, that's something to play with. I think before we start going there, we should,
I was just going to say like, I was going to tell, why am I forcing this stupid story?
I do because it's incredible. I don't know if you want to drop it in later, but I will say that I pitched Waterbeds to Allie because I was just like looking up stuff and she was on a client call. I was like, I got it. I'll think of something for tomorrow. And she just very casually texts back, "Oh, that's great. I lost my virginity on a waterbed." Well, that does it for me. That is enough. That is the best origin story, whatever you want to say. Like that is also like what a difficult. You guys really like the learning curve was on a wave.
I mean, Lyndsay, I think of like that has to be the worst type of mattress to embark on that moment in your life. Like there's no leverage. There's no like everything's moving. That's crazy. And well, the funny part like that's funny, but the funniest part of it was what I said next that I have not thought of, I don't think since the moment it happened was there was a ferret in the room. He had a pet ferret. There was
this
a
person
ferret
that you chose to have this like formative experience with had a waterbed and a ferret. And
she goes, was the ferret just running loose? I was like, no, the ferret was in the cage. But I don't know if all ferrets are like this. They don't smell good. And it was like kind of vicious. It was like a vicious ferret in a cage that smelled like what you'd imagine a ferret would smell like. Like that was the pivotal moment in my life. So I feel so ill prepared. I feel so prepared, but yet ill prepared too. Like I might end up in like a ball on the floor.
Yeah, this is sort of going to be therapy, branding therapy as we do this. Yeah.
Anywho,
it's like if the waterbeds are rocking, don't come a knocking. Is sort of what was happening there. Motion in the ocean. There's so much to talk about here. Okay.
Yeah. So unnecessarily wedged in that story, but really, honestly, you get to know us a little bit more in these
important
live shows. And is that not relatable to the masses?
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Who among
Waterbed
us
and a ferret?
I really did picture a free range ferret. So I was just like, that doesn't seem
honestly
right.
Might as well have been. It was chaos.
The experience. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let me tee up this song, but
and I was going to do a quick reminder of we're only able to see comments on YouTube and LinkedIn, I think. They'll come through on our main thing. So if you're commenting elsewhere, pop over to the YouTube link. That's going to be the easiest place where most people are hanging out and chatting back and forth. So you can see their stuff too. And if there's any technical difficulties, let us know. If for some reason you can't hear us or something sounds weird, besides our allergy sniffing, let us know. And then follow along. Don't forget to follow and subscribe so you don't miss a single riveting episode and backstory and potentially life lesson. So let's set the timer so we can answer the question on everybody's minds. Can they brand that?
They can, doesn't mean they should. Can they brand that? Can they brand that?
You know, I get a kick out of not to hype up the jingle every time, but the lyrics of just because they can doesn't mean they should is just, oh man, it kills me. It kills me every time because it's just, I love the effacing nature of
it's like
it's so funny.
Same with like the question on everybody's minds. That's never the question on your minds. And the only show brave enough to do it no one's asking for. Like self-deprecation is such a funny brand voice to use that I don't think enough people deploy. But
okay, let's talk waterbeds. Okay, so I was thinking the name Ferret.
So listen,
It's like when you think
hear me
waterbed,
out.
do you think long, weasel-like animal? Okay, I had one name idea. I don't know if this is great, but I was trying to think of a crossover right before we got on this show. Like I was thinking like the crossover between like water and sleeping, and the word
Mhm.
drift came to me. Like you drift out to
Oh,
sea, you drift off to
drift to
sleep.
sleep.
I'm not saying that that's like the sexiest name, but it's kind of a cool, there's something cool there because it is a nice tight crossover between two worlds.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it drums up like a world. Maybe.
Yeah. It is like it is sort of sleek. Like I could see it on branding. I could see it being one of those D2C. Although how do you ship a waterbed mattress in the way that like Casper, they're all folded up into the little box and then it like expands. Like what do you do that? I guess it's just when you're filling it with water yourself. I don't know the technicalities of water, like what treatment you put in there. But okay, that's nice. Let's put a pin. Let's think about that. I was thinking 2 like themes and watch. This is what we do. If last week I felt like we didn't go hard enough in the paint on world building. Now I'm going to go too hard because my one, and it's not this is not the perfect name yet, but if it was like mafia themed, Sleep with the Fishes. I'm sure you thought of Sleep with the Fishes. You're Italian.
I thought of the line Sleep with the Fishes and I could not back it up into a mafia phrase that felt like sleepy.
Well, let's try. We could try to find one because I think imagining the like black and white and red world and funny of like the family and like a faux threatening voice. It feels like you could sort of bring a little bit of like the Liquid Death, like aggression here of like. It was that idea, and then it was Wet Dream to do just a really overt. And then like very polarizing would be Wet Dream and Moist. I thought Moist would be anyway. So we can play in mafia world.
Okay, this is not good, but like this is the right idea. Deathbed, like I mean, but that's like aggressive, right? Yeah. But like on your deathbed, that's tough. I'm not saying that's appealing, but like Sleep with the Fishes. Okay.
So there's a. I was looking up mafia slang. Omerta, Omerta means code of silence. So like being because you're quiet when you're sleeping. Could we like granted no one like we think when it comes to words with interesting backstories or words in a different language that maybe not the Gen Pop knows, like we think those can be difficult brand names to induce an emotion because nobody knows what that means. It's cool to later be like, guess what? In mafia language, that means code of silence. But I don't know if Made Man is an inducted member.
Yeah.
Consigliere, capo.
Whack is a funny word. Whack. Like, it's not like, it doesn't make me think of sleep, but like to whack someone is to like whack.
What about like Wise Guy or like Good Fella, Whack, Loan Shark,
Boss,
Shakedown?
Like boss. Bada Bing. How about Bada Bing mattresses?
I was thinking Capiche just to be more Italian. Because that just is like, I agree. And like, it just would be like Capiche waterbeds. Like, I don't know. It's just like a silly thing. Capo.
Mortadella.
Cement shoes is another way of saying Sleep with the Fishes. That's crazy. Rat is a snitch.
It's a fun angle. It's so funny that you thought of that too. Sleep with the Fishes. I was like, I was trying to back it into that. So like mob boss, could it just be boss? Like boss waterbeds, like, and like it goes from there. Like they're the head of the mafia family. We don't have to say mob, and it just is like called boss. And then it's like all these mob words. Sleep with the Fishes.
Crazy.
A friend of mine.
Code of silence could be something because that's just like whatever.
I know.
No ratting out, pinched, crank crew,
whack, hit, a hit,
dawn, family. Like that's like the whole
family's
like
funny. Family would be interesting. Like consigliere.
All right.
Okay.
We might need to move on to the other one.
Okay. No.
For the sake of time.
Okay. Let me pitch 2 other maybe name ideas because. My brain kind of was thinking mafia, and then I kind of bopped back to like, what are things that happen on a bed in the ocean? Instead of a cruise ship, it could be like a snooze ship. snooze shit or something.
I had snooze cruise instead of booze cruise.
Okay. And then like a conch shell, like conch out, and like a conch shell, like conch. Conch is funny. It could have like an island theme.
Conch is great.
Conch is kind of funny.
Okay, something that works with conch, if it was an island theme, is I had under the Z's. Z's instead of C's.
Yeah,
the high Z's.
Okay.
Sail the high Z's with conch.
Conch is it's like a tough word, but it's kind of funny.
Is that how conch? It's not conch. Conch shell.
Well, a shell is K or CONCH.
Yeah.
Like,
and conking out is CONK.
So do you say conch?
How do you pronounce
conch shell?
How do you pronounce it?
I guess I always thought it was a hard sound at the end.
I think it is.
Okay.
Conch
so
shell
spelled different.
But conch. Still great.
Maybe it is conch. I don't know. So that blows that idea.
Conch. It's right. We're right.
Okay. Cool.
Kong. They're phonetically going KAANGK. Kong. Like, okay, but I guess we could also spell it CONK and just like have the shell be there. Like that's how we're like, so like you're seeing like conking out. Is that how you spell conking out?
Conking out is like CONK, right? Okay.
A breakdown of person fainting or going to sleep. He conked out. So I can't tell which way we spell it. But
I don't know. It's just, I don't even know if it's good. It's just thematically, like it connects, it's connective tissue, drift, conch. I couldn't think of, and then like snooze and cruise.
Yeah. And Z's and C's, reef, exotic,
you
palm.
could also do like a funny name, like Lost at Sea. Like something like Ocean View, Lost at Sea.
Castaway, sort of.
Yeah, you can kind of play with that. Like,
well, maybe that's
Lost at Sea is kind of funny.
Or if conch was the name of it and it was get lost at Z's, like instead of C's.
Yeah.
But Lost at Sea. Yeah, I could see Lost at Sea being a name, but for some reason in this D2C like world that I keep picturing like Casper and Purple, like conch. It's like that feels disruptive, but it's so stupid.
It's like it's like tough off the tongue.
I like it. Okay, so then I was okay.
Okay.
Are you going off of island or are you going a different direction?
No, I was gonna say two more phrases that could maybe be named.
Do island and then I have another direction.
Okay. Island Z's could just be, I guess that could be named. But like you could call it like big fish, or you could call it sleepy fish. I don't know. I don't like any of those either. Never mind.
Back for mob or for island?
For just island, I guess. Yeah, like something.
I'm sure we could also find like some of those
seabed is like, do you call like a part of the ocean like a seabed?
The seabed,
or part of the sea? You seabed?
Maybe that's a name of one of the products is a seabed.
Seabed?
Or maybe we're saying like they're not waterbeds, they're seabeds, and we like are very like faux snobby about it, like because we innovated on them. They're seabeds. That's funny.
Seabed. I don't know. That's kind of a nice
seabed. Ocean liner.
I don't know if
we can call if there's a mattress topper, we can call it an ocean liner.
Yeah. Seabed. I don't know if I like it. Oh, I don't know which one I like. I feel like we have to lay it on
Allie, that just be the product, not the name. Seabed would just be like what do we call the mattress? The like water.
Okay.
So yes, don't worry.
I didn't know if like for the overall brand name, Seabeds or anything. Okay.
No, because I think we've learned our lesson about category being the thing. I think you gotta think one level up. But
level up, Briggs. Level up.
What am I always telling you?
Together.
Okay, so I was also thinking like I think we should explore if we like called it moist or something really polarizing, excuse me. And like floating and like whatever, like or wet dream, sorry. But then I thought it's a stupid thing. Like if you think of mattress, what if the whole thing was just called Matt, like the guy's name, your husband's name, Matt, and it was like it's short for mattress. And it's like it's all woven in where it's the spokesperson and it's all just like I got myself a mat and it's a waterbed. Although that's hard because that's a welcome mat. But anyway, I was like, what's mattress, moistress, or is it called Matthew? And he's like, Matthew's mattress mermaid.
That's kind of funny, actually. I got myself a mat.
Yeah, like
it's so stupid.
It's stupid. It doesn't work because it like stands for something else.
Hi, I'm Matt.
But like if it wasn't,
short for mattress.
Like maybe that's the mascot. Stupid. I don't know.
That could be the mascot. Maybe we put a pin in that. That's really funny though. I'm like trying to think of like I'm like looking at like terminology right now.
Waves, turbulence,
Waves,
storm, hurricane. We could call them hurricane. That's pretty insensitive to people who deal with that. But it's like what's island, isle, lagoon.
Wet dreams is so crazy and stupid.
Sand
but it, like, it weirdly is perfect.
You know what sort of sounds chic? Peninsula. Like it's because it's like land surrounded by water where it's like this mattress is your peninsula and the like whatever. Breezy.
Yeah. Peninsula. What's the other? Isthmus. Just start.
Scuba, snorkel, scatamaran. What's when you scat on a
beep,
boat?
Beep, boop, 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 boop.
Beep, bop, 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 boom. It's a booze cruise with Scatman on it.
With Scatman performing. That's all we could get.
Catamaran is like the worst place to be at a concert.
So Laura said in the comments, like, I've been sleeping with Matt. That is a funny bit. Like, you've been sleeping with Matt. That's a funny bit.
Like, I found someone new to sleep with, especially to try to, if we're trying to compel people to go from like that to that, like a regular mattress to a waterbed.
And then you can frame the benefits of the mattress, like, and pair it with like qualities of a person. Like he's so good at comforting me. He he distributes weight evenly. No, I'm just kidding. Like
he makes me feel at peace. Like I can relax
at ease. I feel relaxed around him. Like there's a funny angle there that you could take. I'm Matt. God, you'd have to hire someone like just the most like generic Matt looking guy, like maybe like my husband, the most Matt looking Matt you've ever seen.
Midwest Matt for sure. Like
Midwest Matt.
And he's like, actually Matt is short for mattress. Like my parents named me this. So this was my, like, I had to start a mattress company.
Can I tell you something? Whenever my Matt spells his name, I don't know why he does this. He'll go, my name is Matt, M-A-T-T. And I don't know if he thinks people are going to hear Max, but I guess I've never asked him, like, why do you feel the need to spell it out? It feels like the most, has anyone ever spelled it with one T? I've never run into that situation.
Matt.
He always goes, Matt, M-A-T-T. Like as if he's spelling it in some like crazy way that no one will get. Anyway.
And as though that, like adding clarity, that's got to just be something that happened once and then he stuck with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess so.
My best friend in high school was Alyssa, and she would always say, I'm Melissa. I'm Alyssa. And people would be like, hi, like, oh, nice to meet you, Melissa. And I was like, that's really tough.
Yeah.
I am. So then she'd be like, my name is, and it always sounded so from like,
my name is.
Hi.
Alyssa.
Okay, I thought of another random word that is fun.
Okay.
That is frond, F-R-O-N-D, like a palm frond. If we wanted
Frond
to go like islandy, like, and like, cause it sounds like friend. And that just, like, if we were looking for that one short, like frond, we could go really hard in the paint with wet dream, because it's literally like sleeping on a waterbed is a wet dream, but that's just too gross for us.
God, it's so aggressive. It's funny. It like is the perfect bit and like shtick to play out right now on the show. But like, man, that's rough. I mean, that's like a Done-ded before we even get there.
Yeah.
Wavy, wave, rocky.
Yeah.
Rockin', rock, rocky.
Surf.
Oh, man. It's
Dead
like
surfing. I think I don't know that we have to land on one. Maybe we could just explore some other fun things. Yeah.
Surf is kind of a fun, like surf, board.
Could we do, aren't surfs like in old school, like Shakespearean time, weren't they a type of like class?
Like SERF?
No. Hold on.
Right?
Maybe that is how it's spelled. Yeah.
I think it's an SERF. What was that though? Why can I can like I know
like
the word.
Person.
I can't.
It's like a job, right? A villain. A villain is often defined as a servant. I think it's servant.
Oh, kind of like a slang for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, how funny did you like Shakespearean language and old timey stuff? Like
that's funny.
Like in terms of a shtick.
That's a cool brand voice. What about like what are other things that support you? Like not this, like alimony. I'm trying to think of something weird and abstract. Like like the best support you'll ever get is our mattress brand is called X. It's like,
oh, I see. Like, or like, yeah, also like the best night sleep. Like what's something if you're like, let's call it coma. Like you're in a coma. Like what's like the deepest, like that'd be like, that's really dark.
Yeah,
but, like,
I know it's aggressive.
Hibernate. That's something like something where it's like, but that doesn't really make you think of waterbed. That's the problem is like, we're trying to do, that.
No, it's like, okay, it has to be
40
waterbed.
winks is like another thing for like a nap. That's funny. 40 winks.
sinks.
Winks. Z's.
Sinks. Ship lost at
Sink or
sea.
swim.
I'm like, kind of
So what are other ways
lost at
like
sea.
I think to talk about without, again, trying to like move past name.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
What are funny ways to you're
I
like,
won't be
no.
able to move.
There's only 3
past
minutes
this
left and you're like
effing name. I know. Haven't said a single thing. Okay, so it's like superior sleep, alleviates pressure and joint pain, circulation. It's good for like all.
Mhm. They conform to your body, distribute your weight evenly.
Yeah.
Pressure relief. Like it's just funny
harder
to
than I
think
thought
of
it would
like don't sleep on it. Like we did Casper Mattress, can they brand that many years ago?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, we had some funny things there. What did we do for
I'm
that?
trying to think of that. Back pain. There's something about like I'm cooling off. I'm not doing this. I'm like heading back to the water. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't lead him to a better sleep. I'm just trying to think of like fun campaigns on like drink your water, hydrate, H2O.
Yeah.
Your body's 80% of water.
There's
Like,
something there.
What about this? Your body is 80% water. Your bedroom can be too. Like now,
Yeah,
like it's
that's
showing
nice.
like a big
Okay,
king
okay.
bed in like a stripped back room of like not.
Okay.
We could also make it really palatial and sort of be like it's not just for kings and queens anymore, and like get the royal treatment, Royal Caribbean, the Royal Caribbean treatment.
Sail the high seas. Okay, I wanted to just say for a name, land shark is kind of funny. Sorry, I'm like
That's really fun.
obviously
You're
stuck
like,
on
I wanted
a
to
freaking
just
name right now.
say,
I
who cares? The whole thing
cannot
can be
stop-
name, but we don't, you have to
No.
remember we don't always arrive on one. Most of these we haven't. I guess sometimes we do.
I know I'm like stuck on it for some reason.
Land
Okay,
shark
no,
is really funny.
land shark's kind of funny. Okay, I like this idea of I like royal language. I like it's not just for royalty. Queen of the what is it? Hold on. Oh, I was thinking chicken of the sea. I was like queen of the sea. Like there's just
Foam of the sea, mattress of the spring of the sea. It just depends also if like there's some springs too. Like pool, splash, a pool pass. Like you have a 24/7 pool pass
yeah.
in your bedroom. Dark night swimming. We don't call it sleeping on a waterbed. We call it night swimming.
Night
Someone
swim's
saying-
kind of a fun name. Night swim.
Night swim's
That's kind of
cute.
kind of a weird fun name.
Sexy and like
Night swim.
someone in the comment said sea foam is better than memory foam. That's great.
Yeah.
A common person is a surf that someone is clarifying.
Yeah,
Just like
that's good.
Your average person. That'd be interesting. SERF would be funny if it didn't
Surf
have
is
like
kind of
and it was
is
all
that a-
Shakespearean themed. Like
it's kind of cool. I like that. Surf. It's
to
not
see
a-
or not to see or not to see.
that
to
is the
thine
question.
own-
We have the answer.
We have the
to my
answer.
own self. To it. How does it? My own self be true.
Be true.
that-
The world's a stage. The bed's an ocean.
Except the bedroom. that's the in-ground pool. Okay, that's funny. We could bring in. Okay, hold on. I gotta look up some Shakespearean lines.
Someone saying land shark is a beer, but that's okay. Like
Yeah.
you can cross industry things, but
To Z's or not to Z's? That is the question. That's funny.
surf and turf, surf on turf. To Z's or not to Z's?
Where art thou, memory foam? Where art thou?
Oh yeah.
To thine
Et tu
own-
Brutus? Isn't that?
Et tu Brute?
Yeah.
Now that's what what's his bucket says? Caesar said. That's his last.
Oh yes.
Et
That's
tu
not.
Brute. To thine
But
own.
didn't Shakespeare do a? Oh no.
Oh God, we're just.
Yeah, it's Shakespeare's Julius Caesar line,
Oh, it is. Okay.
and that's.
I
the
thought that was from
time.
his biography.
Well, I think that was from last time we FaceTimed.
Yeah. God, there's some funny Shakespearean lines. I'm like looking now. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Like, God, we could play with that. Some
Yeah.
sleep great, some achieve Yeah, there's man,
For the
that's
whole
tricky.
thing, dude, the whole website is written in iambic pentameter. That would be so difficult.
Remember, we used to have a page on our website that was all poetry.
Yes, that's a little bit easier than his.
A little bit easier. Yeah, I know.
The rhymes.
I know.
But yes, oh my God, we did. We had a whole like an ode to humor of some sort. And had
Yeah, we
rose
did.
petals falling.
Um,
Cute. Okay, last thing we should play with before we go into Mascot. Laura is suggesting a nostalgic angle. Everything from the 90s is back. Yeah. But I
Okay.
think we'd want this to, I think we would want this to be like, this has been right here all along. Like, this is the best. Like, we're modernizing this old school thing. But you could for sure, you could totally do an ad campaign with it. And like, it's like, you know, a burger telephone and like all sorts of old 90s things. And then the only thing that's different is the bed in the middle, and the bed looks really super modern.
Uh-huh. There's got to be a name in there though. Like not Waterbed. It's a Waterbed. What? Like
it's just called Neon or something. Like something 90s-esque, you mean? Yeah.
Neon's kind of
we
a fun.
Wetter, we had said we had a water brand come to us that needed a new name. And Wetter instead of water.
Name. Yeah, we pitched we pitched the name Wetter for a water brand, but they actually got acquired without even needing to change the name. So like we ended up having to not do that piece of the project. Neon's actually a good name. That's a fun name, Neon. Because then you could have like the tag is always like a neon color. There could be like a neon piping on it. It could come in like neon packaging. Like you could just really play up that visual style. And then you could do all like without having the time right now, but like you could do funny throwback language. I'm kind of into that, weirdly enough. Just like neon.
Yeah, that's cute. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. I was like feeling like my brain was breaking just now. Like to be.
Oh, that's where you neon is what won you over of all of our other good names. You're like, now I can rest easy. Well, I could sleep with the fishes.
I could see. I mean, I could have gone in any direction.
Still my favorite. Conch is 100% still my favorite.
Conch,
and it's spelled with
funny
a K,
too.
but the big thing is a shell.
But I do.
Somebody said hypercolor sheets, blacklight posters, lava lamps, water beds. Yeah.
You could really go in a funny direction with that. Like there's just a lot of branding potential, and it could be subtle. It doesn't have to be like cheesy. You could do it like really subtle and go like bring back the only thing that like the only good thing about the 90s. I mean, obviously there's a lot of good stuff about the 90s, especially now, but like bring back the best part of the 90s. Like there's a lot of fun language around that,
especially because it helps with back pain. Bring back the 90s to your back, to your lower back.
Yeah. Imagine if your back felt as good as it did in 1996. Like, so it's funny.
Bring the 90s back stroke. I was trying to think of a swimming thing. We didn't even do like
backstroke.
The whole brand is called breaststroke or like the butterfly. Like what are fun swimming, snorkel. We did that a little bit. Pencil dive, Allie. We always talk about pencil dives. Cannonball would be a great name.
Cannonball's a good name.
Because you remember those old school commercials where they would drop a bowling ball on a mattress and there would be like wine glasses to show like that it doesn't move, and ours would move on purpose or something.
Lyndsay, that's
dropping cannonballs.
Pin and not neon, because I do like that. Cannonball is really fun because that is like a nod to those old commercials and a nod to water. Like that is funny. Cannonball.
Like making a splash in the mattress marketplace.
We made a splash once and here we are to do it again.
We'll make it again. Like
fun. A bigger splash this time, like something.
It's also like it's not a party until we're here, because like a cannonball is like a really fun pool party move.
Yeah, I remember there's one time I was at me and Allison, who is our friend. I went to high school with her. We were at a party in college, and it was at this like really fancy big ass mansion on the water in Grosse Pointe, Michigan. And it was like everyone was our age, but it was like really stuffy, and people were just like. Not really like, it was like a summer night. It was like a beautiful out. And we just impulsively jumped in this pool in the middle of the party. And when I tell you, I've never had an experience where like it changed the whole vibe, like in a good way. Like there was a big risk there. And we got like all these
ruined the party.
It was like, because we'd have been drinking, it was like, I'm about to ruin the party and who cares? Because it's already kind of sucks. Or this could go in a really positive direction. And we were in our clothes. So we like jumped in like sundresses, and then like everyone started jumping in clothes, and like everyone was just like chilling at this party, sopping wet. It was like a hot summer night.
It's fun.
It was great.
That's great.
Oh man. But anyway, a cannonball is a fun name. There's a lot there. Okay, so this brainstorm kind of went in a different direction in the sense that we were like exploring thematics the whole time. But I kind of I'm into it in the sense that like this is a big piece of branding is like finding a name, finding an angle, finding a theme, and then just like chipping a little bit off the edge.
Anchor the whole thing around.
There we go. And that's
paddle.
Okay.
Swim
Okay.
upstream.
Mascot.
So now Mascot. You have the song maybe?
Oh,
handy?
yeah.
I can't really brainstorm without the song.
Oh yeah. My brain doesn't turn on until the song is teed up. Okay, you ready? Oh yeah.
Mascot. Mascot. O'clock.
Great.
I also did just think of for the Shakespearean theme, Midsummer Night's Dream, like a dream, but
all year round.
Stream, Midsummer Night's Dream, Mid
Slumber
Night's Dream, Mid-slumber Night's Dream. Oh, I knew I'd get there.
Lyndsay, hold on. That's good. Mid-slumber Night's Dream. That's funny.
Well, they're just for a campaign, not for the name.
Yeah. But that's just like a funny. Okay. You know what'd be funny actually if you were doing commercials is someone in a really like funny Hamlet type pitching the mattress, like all the benefits of the mattress, like Hamlet. And you're like holding something up, obviously not a skull, but you're holding something up like a Hamlet. I don't know what that is. A pillow, a sleep mask. I don't know what or maybe not. Maybe it's just like a funny bit. But that is a funny mascot to have like a Shakespearean type character.
That would be great. So do you think drama, maybe we're calling it drama or something, because then it makes me surf just doesn't seem quite right now for this anymore.
Yeah.
If it's full Shakespeare, and then I'm like, is it called sonnet? Is it just like a sexy, like fun?
Sonnet's kind of cool. Theater, like bedroom theater, sleep theater. Theater's a fun word, actually. Theater's a cool word.
And
stage.
The shrew.
Hold on. Like stage. Like there's something there too.
Like the world's a stage, Midsummer Night.
Okay, so that's
okay.
We gotta the mascots could be like all over the place because we've kind of brainstormed so much.
They could.
They could be
like a waved. We just for a different client. Our designer just sent us some stuff. Remember that really cool little wave he did? That was like cresting. That could be a really fun wave. A little wave mascot, like in Moana when the wave is the water is personified.
Has its personality. That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
You could do Shakespearean. You could do Matt if we go in that direction. Hi, I'm Matt, and like that whole funny
Matt.
bit.
Yeah, that has a lot of legs to be really stripped back and really like interesting in that way. I also think for Mafia, obviously it's like a pair of cement shoes or a cigar, like something.
You could just do like a real funny, like Soprano style guy with a cigar that's like, sleep with the fishes. I only sleep on a blah, blah, blah. You know, like that's a funny, absurd.
It would be funny if he seemed like it like started out like in a commercial, like it's, in a dark room and there's a swinging light bulb and he's like, it seems like he's going to torture you. And then he's just like, nah, you're about to get the best sleep of your life. Like he's like,
making the bed for
he's like the nicest reformed mobster who like now like really believes he's like, no, sleeping with the fishes is a good thing. Or he's brand new to the mobster world and he misunderstood that word. And so he's like, I bought a waterbed. Is that right? Like it's just like so.
I've been sleeping with the fishes my whole life.
Yeah,
I sleep like a king. Like that's a funny bit too.
Yeah.
It's if we went like in the direction of conch, which is like a little crab that kind of crawls out, but then he like always wants to go back in because he's like got a really good mattress in there. Like he's like,
oh gosh, and we zoom in sort of like, and he's like the SpongeBob world sort of.
Yeah, you go into the shell and the shell is like decked out and he's got a waterbed and he's just like sleeping like a little crabby baby.
Because maybe he's on the sand, like so he's by the water and he's like, I like it up here, but I love the water. So I got a waterbed. So I got a conch. I've been conked out the whole time.
Or every time, hold on, how about every time you go to like tap him to like speak on behalf of your brand, he's like completely sleeping in the conch shell.
He's sleeping constantly.
Like you can never wake him up and then you're like Gerald or whatever, like Gerald, and then you go in and like he's sleeping and you're just like he's sleeping again.
Well, he's getting really good sleep. His back feels great. Did you see what Laura just said? The mermaid idea, but transitioning it to siren. Siren would be a really fun, like, and it's like the siren song of sleep. Like she's trying to we're luring you in. And that could be like, it makes me think of the Taylor Swift music video, The Fate of Ophelia, the part where she's like it's that all those waves and stuff like that aesthetic on the website. Siren.
That's a really good name. Siren.
Siren's great.
Cause that drums up lure, which is nice, like luring to bed. Ocean, sea. Oh, that's a good name. Siren.
And under disease. We really
Under
want.
the
And
Z,
then the
which-
crab. Sebastian is our little crab in a conch shell, so that still works.
Siren. Follow our call. Like that's a really pick up or
And-
call. Like there's so much fun there.
They're
Lure
mermaid,
you.
MADE, like made by the sea. MER is like, but
Mermaid.
it's like it's not a mermaid. It's mermaid, like handmade.
Mermaid. Just kidding. Made in
Mermaid.
Chicago.
Mermaid in the USA. I love it.
I like that.
think
Okay.
we're
Neon. I
way
like all
past
these
time.
different
Me too.
ideas. Okay. These are fun.
I don't know which one I could choose. This is the one I wish we had Natter on so that he could design it.
I know.
Okay, really quick.
Natter,
Let's do
are you
funded and
watching?
let's do a really quick funded and Done-ded, and then we can hit it.
Hit it. Okay. All right. I think we've got a lot of legs. There's a lot of different, I think there's a lot of threads I would pull here. Like I know if we were taking this offline and we were really building this out, like we would explore neon, we would explore siren, we would explore like a Shakespearean route. Like we would kind of go in all these different directions to see like what feels right. So we could like blow this brand out and go,
Yeah.
okay, what is the visual direction? What's the voice? What's the
Mhm.
like the core language? What's the how are we positioning it? As of right now, I am somewhere between a neon and a siren as like liking that, feeling like those are really fun things to play with. And
Mhm.
I can see the world. We haven't had time to build it, but I can kind of see it.
SEAWORLD,
For sure.
SeaWorld.
See it.
Let's just name it SeaWorld. They'll be like,
SeaWorld.
what? Is that a problem? They're gone now. We took it over. It's probably open for a trademark.
It's probably not trademarked in the mattress space though. And so to that end, I would say I think we could funded it because I believe that given more time, we could blow these ideas out in a really cool way.
That it would get funded by somebody.
Yes.
Yes, I believe that this would be an idea that would get funded.
Yes.
I also agree. I also think that saying SEA and world, maybe they want to say the C word. Like we could do a Super Bowl commercial and then we're like, no, we're like, she called me the C word and it's like, it means about SEA somehow
That's
about
funny.
water and it being good. And there's like some big misunderstanding. Yeah, I would say siren is my new favorite now. And then cannonball.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
then
one.
conch. But I see the appeal on neon. I think that's also like very memorable and just like fun. It's like, and it's the same as saying like I got a Casper mattress, I got a neon mattress, I got a like
it kind of
neon. It really like helped my back, like blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's a nice short word. It's got a little punch to it. I mean, man, this was, I think, the most help we've got. Like, truly, like everyone watching, like your ideas were awesome. Like, really good at like stirring things. So I love all the help from the crew. We got a good, consistent crew now. I'm loving it.
That's great.
Okay,
awesome. Okay, well, we will be back next week, same time, same place, probably same technical difficulties, same attitude. Better ideas, worse ideas. Who knows? It's all up for grabs. Thank you again for watching and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Thank you guys. This has been so fun. I appreciate all the help and you guys are wonderful.
See you later.
Love it. Bye.